Hello, I am Suhaib and I am from Trisektor. I am going to discuss executive summaries, operators and subcons of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, KSA and UAE. First of all, executive summaries. Pakistan. Despite a tightening of the national economy during 2009, the mobile market continued to expand at an annual rate of between 5% and 10%. 2002 to 2010, the number of mobile subscribers jumped from less than 2 million to 100 million. The much anticipated surge in growth in Pakistan's telecom industry eventually happened, and it was looking set to continue for some time as the government's reform plans were progressively implemented. Efforts by the government of Pakistan to promote the development, modernization, and diversification of the telephone network over the last decade have met with mixed success. Mobile market experienced extended boom in 2008-2009. The government moved away from monopoly to a new competitive structure. It made a decision to target lifting the national fixed line tele density from 2.5% to 7%. The other major shift in fixed line market came with the introduction of wireless local loop services in 2004-5 and the licensing of multitude operators. Whilst Pakistan mobile sector had continued to grow through 2008-9 period, there were already signs of a slowing market. After a reasonable right year of growth in 2008, there was some easing in the rate of growth in 2009. Although there were certainly big challenges facing the market, overall it remained a healthy and competitive one. In some respects, it appeared that the Pakistan mobile market was reaching a saturation point as the operators had started to shift their focus on value-added services. Five active operators were fighting for the share of the country's mobile market. In the meantime, debate over viability of 3G in Pakistan was continuing, and there was considerable opposition to the plan set out by the PTA. The focus on internet marketing in Pakistan was finally turning to broadband. There were strong signs that the country was entering a significant broadband development phase. The broadband subscriber base had grown by 118% in the year 2010. The big challenge in the short term for Pakistan's telecom market will be to manage the impact of a pronounced downturn in the national economy. Afghanistan. In what has certainly been a challenging task, Afghanistan has built some positive momentum in its effort to put national telecom infrastructure in place and to offer effective telecom services throughout the country. The 2001 war in Afghanistan destroyed telecommunications that had already been suffering serious disrepair due to neglect by the pre-war Taliban government. In 1998, electricity was restored and the fixed telephone lines were reconnected in the capital and in Kandahar via mail exchanges in Pakistan's capital Islamabad and Quetta. There existed the remnants of two fixed networks, one dating back to Soviet occupation in 1979. By 2003, recovery had commenced and there were all around 37,000 fixed lines in the country with about 20,000 in capital Kabul. In an important strategic move, the government announced in 2005 that licenses were to be issued to allow the private sector to establish independent telephone companies. This initiative was called the Local Fixed Services Plan (LFSP). The other major impact on telecommunications in Afghanistan came with the introduction and subsequent expansion of the mobile telephone service. In 2003, the country's mobile network operated exclusively at the time by the Afghan Wireless Communications Company (AWCC). The launch of a second mobile service operated by Roshan boosted the market even further. They claimed 13.6 million subscribers by March 2010, representing an overall mobile penetration of 48%. Bahrain. Bahrain is the smallest market in the Middle East by population size, but it is also one of the most competitive. Incumbent Telco shares the fixed line market with competing operators providing international calling service using international direct dial, carrier pre-selection or prepaid calling cards. Introduction of number portability and commercially available unbundled service during 2011 has set the stage for further competition. Competition accelerated in the broadband market with the launch of WiMAX services. While operators later launched competing mobile broadband services, recognizing the importance of broadband for socioeconomic growth, Bahrain's government has published a national broadband network policy to improve broadband access. In the mobile market, Telco and a subsidiary of Zain of Kuwait compete with recent market entrant Viva Bahrain, owned by the STC of Saudi Arabia. As with other high expat markets, however, the population turnover gives room for growth. Kuwait. Kuwait is one of the wealthier members of the GCC, ranking third in the GDP per capita behind Qatar and UAE. Like other smaller GCC members, it has a very high expatriate population. Kuwait's telecom industry is something of an anachronism in the region due to lack of liberalization of the market. A further problem with lack of independence and corporatization in the fixed line sector is a lack of available information on the sector. Competition does exist in the internet provision sector. In the July 2009, the Ministry of Communications stated that it would suspend the licenses of a number of ISPs. Kuwait's mobile sector represents a different picture to its fixed line sector. For many years, two very strong operators have shared a comfortable duopoly. Zain's competitor Wataniya, now a subsidiary itself of QTEL of Qatar, has extended into 6 countries in total, but its Kuwaiti profits were slightly higher than its group profits at end 2009. The two incumbent mobile operators who have shared the market for the past 10 years were joined in December 2008 by a third operator, Kuwait Telecom Company, known as Viva, owing approximately 25% in each case. By end 2009, Viva would appear to have gained a market share of over 10%. The introduction of more competition has had a substantial effect on the reducing ARPU levels. Oman. Oman has a GDP per capita at a similar level to that of Saudi Arabia, but with a much smaller population. Its mobile penetration is also very near to that of Saudi Arabia. The telecoms market as a whole has been much less competitive, but things are about to get more interesting. Omantel has had a monopoly of all fixed line and internet access services. In November 2008, alternative mobile operator Navras, 55.6% owned by QTEL of Qatar, won a 25-year license to also build and operate domestic and international services, together with submarine cables and transmission stations. Navras is building a latest generation fiber optic backbone across the country in connection with the WiMAX networks. Possibly linked to the lack of competition market, fixed line penetration is low. Internet user penetration is also low, and ADSL broadband penetration is less than 2%. The mobile sector is more exciting. Omantel and Navras have roughly equal shares of the market, but may find the ongoing environment challenging. Oman was also earlier than most countries in the region to introduce mobile number portability in 2006. The more competitive mobile market and the low broadband penetration rates provide an opening for mobile broadband services through HSPA. Qatar. Qatar is a small and very wealthy with income per capita almost twice as high as even Kuwait or the UAE. This is reflected in the high penetration rates for mobile and fixed line telecoms for broadband internet services. Vodafone Qatar came into a market where mobile penetration was already over 150%. Almost all the new licenses tendered in the region over the past few years have been won by local regional players. Despite the high mobile penetration in Qatar, a lower percentage of 3G subscribers than in the UAE provide a market for Vodafone to target, plus the ever-changing high expatriate population provides new subscriber opportunities. QTEL prepared for competition, lowering tariffs in all sectors. Broadband tariffs in Qatar are particularly low for the region, and broadband penetration on a household level is relatively high, being estimated possibly as high as 60%. In addition, QTEL has plans to build a fiber to the home and began so far only with pilot projects completed. QTEL is successfully selling its Mosaic triple play package of voice, ADSL and IPTV. KSA. The Saudi Arabian telecoms market is perhaps the most interesting in the Middle East. It is more competitive than most others, and all the big regional players have at least a toehold in the market. STC, Etisalat of UAE and Zain of Kuwait. Also in the market is Batelco of Bahrain and QTEL of Qatar. Telco has Etihad Atheeb, which has won a fixed license. And what makes Saudi Arabia so attractive to all these operators? The combination of its population size and wealth. While its population is nowhere near as high as that of Turkey or Iran, its GDP per capita is much higher. Fixed line penetration has remained steady for some years rather than falling as it has in some other countries in the region. Internet user penetration is nearly 40%, but DSL broadband subscriber penetration is only around 5%. However, the number of DSL subscribers doubled in the 2 years to end 2009. STC also started work on the FTTH network in early 2009. Mobile and Atheeb Telecom are planning to make extensive use of WiMAX. While subscribers have grown rapidly in the competitive market and penetration rates now have reached 175%. Mobile is making an extensive push with the mobile broadband. Mobile claimed to have over 1 million mobile broadband subscribers in early 2010. UAE. Despite the UAE being one of the most advanced markets in the Middle East, it is the least liberalized, with only 2 operators across all sectors and no foreign investment. That said, second operator DU, launched in 2007, has gained ground despite interconnection difficulties and no number portability, and now has over 30% of the mobile market. It is helped by the UAE's very high expatriate population. This fluid expatriate population may also be affected in the UAE's very high mobile penetration rate of over 200%. Much of this is due to the multi-SIM ownership to take advantage of various offers and deals. Incumbent telco Etisalat is rolling out a national fiber to the home network. By end 2009, Etisalat had completed the FTTH rollout for 85% of households in Abu Dhabi, claiming that the UAE's capital would be the first in the world to be covered by fiber. Du's fixed line and broadband internet services together with TV are provided over its FTTH network, which serves new developments in Dubai. Etisalat launched its eLife triple play services in May 2010, combining fixed line, broadband and TVU. DU offered a similar service branded Home Plus. This compares with Qatar and Bahrain, where nearly all subscribers now use broadband. This is likely to change rapidly as homes are connected to the FTTH network. In addition, around 25% of the regions were going free to air and paid DTH satellite TV channels are based in the UAE. The UAE has higher paid TV subscriber numbers than most of other countries in the region due to a ban on unsightly satellite dishes in many areas. Now let's look at the operators. Pakistan has Mobilink, Telenor, Ufone, Warid, Zong, all using GSM 900 1800 network. Afghanistan has Roshan, Etisalat, Afghan Wireless, MTN Afghanistan with using GSM. Bahrain, Batelco, Zen Bahrain, Viva, they have GSM, UMTS, HSDPA. And Kuwait, Zen Kuwait, Watania, Viva using GSM, UMTS, HSDPA. Oman Mobile, Navras, GSM, GPRS, UMTS, HSDPA. Qatar, QTEL, Vodafone Qatar, GSM, GPRS, UMTS, HSPA. KSA Zen Saudi Arabia, Mobile, and they have GSM, HSDPA, HSUPA, Edge, UMTS. UAE, Etisalat, DU, GSM, UMTS, HSPA plus. Subcons. Pakistan has Aircom, Nexus Telecom, Ternotech, LCC Pakistan Telecom, Oman, NTS Middle East, OHI Telecommunications, Qatar, LCC Qatar, NTS Middle East, KSA, LCC KSA, Quicklink Communications, Globitel, Interactive Group, International Systems Engineering. UAE has LCC UAE, Aircom, Netcom, Apollo Telecom, Nexus Telecom. Here are some of our customers: Ufone, Ericsson, Huawei, Telenor, Alcatel, Mobilink, Motorola, Omantel, Nokia, Siemens Network, Etisalat, Siemens, Vodafone, Navras, PTCL, Monwile, Warid Telecom. And these are our major principals: Fluke, Rohde & Schwartz, Sunrise, Rosenberg. If you wish to contact us, please use the following information. Thanks for listening.